Hey, it's Biddy Penny. Welcome to my channel. Today, it's time for the Sheetload Rewind. This is new, you guys. We are going to rewind the Sheetload. So I have a piece of watercolor paper here that I spritzed with water, and I'm going to work on a watercolor background and talk to you a little bit about the Sheetload Rewind. Some of our team members from the regular Sheetload cards will join from month to month. Whoever participates will vary each month, and we are just rewinding it back. So, right now, we're rewinding to February of 2023 to that sheetload of cards that looked something like this. And I am converting it to a 5x7. I probably sound like a sheetload of broken records, but yep, I'm making a 5x7 card, and today I'm making Easter cards, and I'm working on backgrounds. So, because I'm making 5x7s, I need 3 of these 9x12 sheets to get all 12 of our backgrounds. So if you need to make a lot of cards, this would be a great sheet load to use. You could make 12 cards with the cutting guides that Alicia has. Alicia is Call Me Crafty Out here on YouTube and Twitter and all the places. Well, maybe not Twitter. Twitter's not even a thing anymore, but TikTok is what I meant, Instagram, and just all over the place. And for years now, she's been producing these sketches every single month and providing them free to the public. If you want to get a hold of this sheet load, then you need to follow the information in the description box and you'll be able to hop over to Alicia's channel and pick up the sheet load of cards. So I am using Mission Gold watercolors here, and I am just tapping color onto this wet background because I really want it all to blend. And I'm going for the nostalgic colored egg kind of look. And you do want to be somewhat mindful about where you're placing color when you're using a technique like this. You want to use colors next to each other that won't turn to mud. So the best advice I can give you is don't put complementary colors next to each other. Think about your color wheel, think about your primary colors and how they might mix. So it's a little risky having that lime green and that purple there together, but the pink is just fine. So I left a little separation there between the green and the purple. And then the red and the green is also a little risky for the same reason because they are complementary colors. So you want to give it a little bit of thought, but at the same time, just play and have fun. Just play and enjoy the process and have lots of fun. So I matched my colors that I chose on my paper with my paper pads. So that's another thing, if you're going to be using a paper pad, you want to coordinate the colors that you're choosing for your background to match that. Watercolor always dries back much lighter than when you're initially putting it down. I did 3 different sheets, and these were the results. So now I'm going to take this 9x12 paper and I'm going to cut these down to 4x6, and I will get some backgrounds. Now, I am going to actually divide these up, and they're not going to stay just a rectangle on my card, but I'm actually going to take them and split them diagonally. So before I do that, I wanted to show you how those turned out, and I just love each and every one. They're so unique and, one of a kind. So don't stress about the process of laying down the color, because you're going to cut it up anyways. So it's going to look different. I am playing with this Easter Blessings paper pad. I only have a couple left, you guys. I'm debating whether I should restock it or not. I just don't know. But I have a couple left in my shop at bittypenny.com. If you're looking for an Easter set that might look anything like this, then you're welcome. Please, I invite you to go check it out. Grab one of the last ones. There are some of these backgrounds that I put in the Easter pack, and there's all these other lovely backgrounds to work with. If the watercoloring process is maybe a little intimidating, I actually put some of that paper in my paper pack. I am going to use my cut aparts from my paper pack for my cards today. I also have sentiments in there, and I'm going to use some sentiments as well. Another thing I'm going to use from my paper pack are the backgrounds. I'm going to use the backgrounds to create my strips of paper. And so I'm just kind of going through and deciding which ones I might want to use. And these I cut down following the measurements on Alicia's printable. So when you get Alicia's printable and you're cutting your strips of paper and you're doing that portion of the card making, mine matches up with that. So the only thing that's different is my card base and those watercolor backgrounds. I also didn't add the quartered circle part of the design. I honestly planned on it and just forgot. It happens. I just forgot. But yeah, I was able to get a number of strips out of each one of these backgrounds. I designed my paper pad so that you get lots of patterned paper and lots of backgrounds. So some of the sheets are designed for half sheets. And I realized I cut that wrong. So then I correct myself and go in and cut the rest of these just the way the Sheetload calls for. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Make sure you hop along and see what the other collaboration team members are making. I can't wait to see their rewind of this Sheetload. So now I have just a ton of cut aparts and strips. These cut aparts are different sizes, and I do that intentionally. But when you're working through your paper pad, measure them first. Don't assume that they're all the same, because I do size them differently. And I do that because, it's kind of fun to work with images that are different sizes for different cards that you might be designing. And then I know there's lots of different sizes of cards in general. 4 bars, 5x7s, A2, slimline, mini slimline. So I like to give a variety of image sizes. So here's where I'm taking my backgrounds and I'm cutting it diagonally. And I'm just going to put one of these cards together for you, and then I'll show you the last of the cards. We'll just do a flip through of all of them assembled, but I'm just going to glue this down. Now, before I did that diagonal cut, I did make sure my paper was really dry, because otherwise, if it's not very dry, it can damage the edges. And that just won't look good. You won't like it. So just make sure your paper's super dry before you slice it diagonally. I'm using some of my scraps, and I'm just doing this to kind of bump up the center for my next piece so it lays more flat. And then I was just going to encourage you to think about your layout when you're using different patterns. Here I'm playing around and kind of deciding what order, and I really liked a matching pattern at the top and the bottom, and then 2 matching patterns on this in the center. For me, I found that to be really appealing when I was working with 2 different patterns on the same focal point. So for me, I like the 2 grasses in the middle, and then the plaid at the top and the bottom, or gingham, whatever you call it. I'm pretty sure it's a gingham. So I'm going to glue all of that down. And then I do have all of these great sentiments in this paper collection. So I just cut those out and added one to each card front. I am giving all these cards to my mom for her Bible study class. I thought it would be fun for her to have a bunch of cards to hand out at Easter. So these are from my mom. And here they are. I had one that I did on a horizontal layout because of the image. It needed to go across this way. So I added 2 sentiments to that one to kind of balance out the separation of those papers. And then the rest, all of these 11 are all the same vertical format. I had so much fun working with this Sheetload again and playing with this paper collection and making a gift for my mom, one that I know she'll just love and love to give to others. So it's just a way to bless so many people all at once, and that makes my heart happy. That's why I'm a card maker. I can't wait to see the rest of what our teammates make. They're really some really creative and sweet people, and I hope you'll check them out too. Thank you, Alicia, for inviting me along to rewind with you and have a blast from the past. If you guys want more of the Sheetloads, consider a membership with Call Me Crafty Owl. It's a low price and it'll open up the vault for you so that you can have access to all the great Sheetloads. Let me know in the comments down below. Are you making your Easter cards? Do you make Easter cards? I love to know. Thanks so much for spending your time with me and hanging out here with me today. I hope you feel inspired and that you'll go pick up the Sheetload for yourself and make some beautiful cards. We would love to see them, so make sure to share in the hashtags if you share on social media. And thanks so much for watching. Bye.